be able to hug you, Yufi. It's not fair. It's not fair, Yufi. It's not fair. It's not fair. Why are you getting sick of these stomachs, man? Sometimes when Baba gets sick, then I don't have to, I shouldn't hug you then. I have to pass it on to you. But this time it's the other way around. And otherwise I wouldn't have minded, but then now at noon I go to Elizabeth, so we want to make sure I don't take anything there. So how can I look at her, you'll be hug cheating on her.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
That's the
Ano
day.
siya? Tunay siya.
Baka bilis kasi ganyan.
Inches, sorry.
Baka bilis kasi ganyan.
I'm breaking down the wall, be my
Demolition. 4.9 inch best construction iya ate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We got quotes from a couple of people, they're like $500 just to break it down.
Way too expensive.
That's Panahatin Chica business
So
that she got.
on the picture, it shows where there's a 4.5-foot gap. On there. Pots it.
But it's not.
It's not. There's a door there. There's no opening. Do you remember any chance in conversation in Yagamon?
Urdu Hosik production.
Hana, walk-in closet in the downstairs bedroom, under the stairs.
Under.
Where the kids are gonna go.
Yeah, so there's a home here, a closet space, a kitchen door, it's not usable.
Right.
So kanta adangala kichma name cord drawer panel abali space of course I'd say. Height we need to know is that walls holding second floor up, weight bearing. So
We kind of piecing for con, but like the best way to tell is by breaking the drywall. And then immediately, even Arya said it, like once I see what's there, I will know if it's supporting or not. So yes, I'm not touching the wall, I'm just taking away the drywall, or it's not holding up anything. So no, can I get rid of that area and put shelving in there instead? Or do we go with whatever pillars at the Kamaga? I don't touch those, I can see if I can fit something in between those instead and make it more usable space.
So pillar bikshila for sure. That there's a 4.5-foot gap, and the first pillar is 4.5 feet in. So you have
But it might
4.5.
be a useless pillar, that's just holding
No,
up
no,
the
no.
drywall, something to stick the
No,
drywall
no,
on.
no, that's way there.
It is a weight.
Yeah, that 4.5 foot is for sure way there.
Okay, then I skipped that part, but like how wide is it?
So 4.5 feet. So you have from the wall until 4.5 feet to do whatever you want. So you can have all those cabinets.
But what
you can
about
have
past
hanging.
that 4 feet? Is it like a 2-foot wall, or is it a wall that goes all the way?
Then it will be a header, and that more than likely it's like 16-inch
Then I can fit
dividers.
drawers in between those.
In between those, yeah. So, one solar gashani gorima.
Ani would say, Ani would.
Oh, you got it there.
Ani, I know.
Oh, that's funny. So solar gashani gor.
Gashani.
Yeah. It's Inca Yega Panara piece melted, another piece filled with water, so Panin had Fosisna, Martin had to the Sevian, or nothing that hides. The only thing there could be for Inca of, one of the things that filled with water, it was oriented the wrong way. So a sabor that could have been kicked, and now is the wrong way to fill with water. Gamar, over time, that could have fallen over on its own. So the only thing potentially he could have done was that, but that also doesn't stop the function of the solar panels. That was a melted piece. It melted inside the panel.
In time, or what?
Yeah,
Why?
just failed. Failed and died and needs to be replaced. So, yeah, should replace it off.
From school, you guys can.
So Yedeg first full day is Nayatsa, and I had a full parabola of power, yeah. 3 months of no.
State farming is passing. Sasha,
I guess. Hopefully something soon. I don't want to see the tarp up there. 이마여 랍정하게 아메리키네 geleng 거예요. 예. Onto their beaches.
We also need to contact my cousin to give us an estimate.
Yeah. Once we have it settled in. Actually, he can come anytime, but the tarp is still there. It'll
Let's
be
just
great.
wait what happens.
It'll be great to hear from State Farm first, so we can get rid of the tarp and start the actual construction. Municipalities is way too expensive. I mean, Portier would be outrageous. Badin Pana, Hinkazar Hinkar Demo.
No, that's the minimum.
Minimum.
Up to 8,000.
Yeah.
5.5 to 8,000 sub.
Ariel quotes are of 3,200.
We
Even
found a
before, without looking
handyman,
at it.
which is what I was thinking. I was thinking 3,000, 3,500 was what I was thinking. And then this man we called from Debbie's side, he's like 2,500. Jonathan immediately, see, I'm like, I'm ready right now. This is the greatest deal we're gonna get. And I go, we need to consider 3,000 because I'm already doing math and materials. And I'm like, this is not a $2,500 job. It's closer to $3,000. So Jonathan was like, yeah, well, let's do it or whatever. And then the more time we thought about it, the more estimates that we got, I'm like, I really think I can do it by myself. I really think I can do it. At most, I need one person to hold one end so I can screw the other end. That's it. I really think I could, I'm resourceful enough, I can find all the materials, and I can do the work by myself. And it would be a great joy to do.
Other option would be Martin.
Roof chinner, he's a handyman, check. Oh, the contractor.
When church is done, I'll be choosing.
Do we need additional
He could, yeah. So we have Martin too. We can ask him.
I don't know who Martin is.
He's the one that's been working on the roof in the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's also handyman. He can do.
But is he like Alex Price or is he like Summer Price?
He's a construction guy.
It sounds like he's more like Alex.
He's more like
Very
Alex. But what's,
conscientiously and he knows what he's doing.
Han Cheplex. Sulche. Someone, like.
Çeşit, zamanında harman Hinduizm, Jamanlar Kontrene, and he does good work.
Yeah.
can you ask him how much he would charge to do lights? So Iren Senyaga, we have one light. Mute, they're still good and sometimes they're too scared to be in there.
Electrician bile.
Hani burada company said.
No, çırak, yani biz mamayın yerine floor, one raises.
Yeah. Can I check this out?
Yeah, sure, of course. But plugger now that there's person.
Oh, yeah.
Plugs, sound branches.
Yeah.
Electric.
How much, we need to ask Samo how much he would charge for that. I know he's by the hour, but like, cause if that company is overpricing us by like more than double, I'm assuming the job is really not that expensive. So if we find somebody who knows what they're doing, if we can get those lights done for like 500,
Samoy Barakain, Jamagano, and he's up to $70 now. They're fantastic. Our
Yeah.
Martin, our but in special money, and Sanhit.
Yeah.
Hi. Hello. Mama. She's safe. She's not.
Yeah,
Don't worry, I'll
sorry,
get safety.
sorry, you feel
Doesn't know.
I told Susie when she's better, I will ask you to pick her up from school,
Oh, yeah.
and she would like to spend some time.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, they can't.
She's giving me a hug because I'm already asking you, by the way. This is because she's happy, or when she's better, she gets to spend time with you.
Kanian kam yere, hamçura biraz, hazat biraz.
And I've had the joy of having fussy kids. I've been to the doctor office 3 days in a row. I'm still waiting for labs. I'm also kind of under the weather too, Hima. Like lupas marad. better mood now than they were last week. So parteros they're less Vachnali. Like for the last 2 days, she's been herself and it's been enjoyed.
Here? Oh.
Yes, Kanye
Can I show you the worst part? Ani was sit here. I'm gonna show Etina's butt. I'm gonna show you her body. So today, PCS said there's like a little wart stuff that's going around. They look like pimples, but they're not pimples. So there's a medication. They did it twice. So we went for the second dose. The first doctor was very careful. This other doctor smeared the medication. She blistered and mended like big. I want to show you, but
Are you not gonna draw a picture?
no, I'm going to show her actual butt. Hella, this is.
Don't do it on the screen.
No, where's the?
Behind you, where you're gonna show it.
Am I not in the camera anymore?
Not show.
I'm just gonna show her butt. I'm in there.
But this is scab.
Hello, you didn't see her pond.
It was all blisters.
Like you know where the IVs? It's called molluscum, and it spreads in like behind the knees. So like when it rubs together, it just spreads on you once it gets on. And it takes 2 treatments to get rid of it. And
Too
she
bad
had
I'm in
because
a
they share a
bad mood. I
bath.
don't like
You feel
whose
nice.
baby
And
is
she
that?
only had 3 dots. She had 1 here and 1 and 2 right here. That's it.
I don't want this oxymoron.
So she had it easy, and she's smiling because like she felt so good. But they're gonna be completely gone of that too. It's us she doctor, she didn't know how to apply it, kind of where it burns the wart over time. And because she smeared it
Very cool.
on the blister, if she was in so much pain. And she still couldn't get her vaccines, kind of where she had a fever, she couldn't even get her vaccines. And
Yeah.
our insurance went up $50 per visit. I spent over $200 just seeing the doctor, not including medication.
I like it.
I was like, what do you mean? The problem isn't resolved. Why are you charging me?
I still don't understand why they took money for that visit.
Because it was a different issue.
Different issue and
Different
follow-up
issue.
check.
The second visit was for the vaccines, but I'm like, we came on our appointment. You didn't give us the vaccine.
You didn't give
Why
the
am I
vaccine.
paying for it? The first time I took her because she had fever, they did labs. The third time I took her because she was sick. Ouch. Everyone is sick. I don't know yet if you noticed. You'll see half the staff is wearing masks. Trauma is going on. Going around and around.
There it is.
Take care. I don't know what to say.
We will do our best to keep to
Kanye
ourselves.
is chill.
So for Mayor, for Dennis, they're very cautious. And bezdie sneeze, cough, sniffle on a bezdiga center.
Good.
In Dennis at least.
That's good.
Me and Meg
You
bezdie.
have your own children going to school and bringing.
Yeah. That's enough.
Nothing like getting struck 3 times in a row.
Like, how can it be that name? Like, when does the body recognize is that, okay, we're done. I know, but there's still some sort of resistance.
For me, I can't take good antibiotics.
Puna di gaga. Yeah, yours is, that makes sense. Your antibiotics cause your joints to blow up and skin to explode. Yeah.
Baba's gonna do a sermon and then we're gonna, 9:20, if no one shows up by 9:20.
It's 9:30.
It's 9:30? No one's coming.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Justin, they are not coming. They need a rest after yesterday. Sorry, no. Miss now the holiday they have.
Ah!
How are you?
Muchas gracias.
Is that got any baby with that something?
Yeah, okay, I can send in a C, shape card. See, Mecca, I'll do it for the stream.
Alright.
They're under the weather. The joy of mother, but always sick kids and then always sick.
Both sick?
No, she's,
Well,
she's
she's
better.
on the tail end of the sick.
Yeah, but she's not contagious. She's been on antibiotics since Tuesday, so she's the only safe person in this room. She's not even a carrier at this point.
Where Punagane, just in case.
Okay, for sure, for sure.
Next
You
week,
feel
only get
that big time carriers.
Okay.
Yan takuine ke just the going on. On them up and one screen on the okay. Good. Thank you, thank you.
I just can't give you medicine
Yeah.
until the doctor says yes. This is because we can't give you the wrong medicine.
They were at the doctor yesterday. Yeah. That's your job for the next 3 months.
And kind of stay alive and make sure you're giving your baby formula and not like dish soap.
That's a good idea.
Because you're so tired you can make the mistake easily.
I know there's anything on like food fair to sleep.
That's about right.
Yeah.
You're gonna see.
They said first night sampling, I think I got 1 to 2 hours of sleep. Last night was around 3 to 4. I don't think I was proud of my 2.5.
Efina wants to lead worship. She wants to lead worship.
Yeah? Oh, do you have this again? Okay, I got you. Hold on. Let me
Efina,
get you a
here's
mic.
your mic.
I'll get you a mic. I'll sing it with you. I will sing with you.
Have you seen the baby yet?
Other pictures. I don't know the song now, she goes. Can we sing a song I know? That's what we want to. Huh? That's what we want to.
Sing loud so we can hear you. Dude, she's ready. She's a
Go for it.
performer.
Sing.
There is something in the air. Tiny baby boy. There is one. Those are stars in the air.
Happy, happy, happy. Oh, you're not feeling well. Maybe next time.
Getting with a great heart, getting with the Holy One, getting nothing different. Jesus Christ, it's time.
And this is with a sore throat, coughing.
We said, I am strong with the portion. I am enriched with if the Lord has done it things.
don't know if she's gonna see it or not.
I know.
Yuki wants to request a different song for you. What do you want Edwina to sing for us? Which one? Can you sing some of the words? No?
Okay.
It's just a little feverish.
So Eugene was the one who started it, the sick, or?
Edwina,
I have one more
Eugene's the
song.
one who-
Yuki taught it, and I think because I've been getting a little chilly here and there, and I'm like, it's 79 degrees. There's just no way I should be cold right now. But I'm too busy with these two, so I can't check to see if I have a fever or not. I'm like, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't.
Do you feel okay, or?
No, I'm fighting something.
She's under the weather, you
I'm fighting something. Like I know because my muscles are achy, and I'm like, I'm fighting something.
Okay, sing.
I have a cough for the last like 7 weeks now. It won't go away.
This one's for Yuki and him. Say it.
Oh, well, this one's for
There's
you.
this, but this is a different song.
Are you gonna make one up for us?
It's, I think it's a different one.
Okay, we're listening.
There's shepherds standing by, rolling around the manger bed. It's the honor way, it's the vacation day. Stars are shining in the air.
Oh, come on! I wanted to record something for Shani.
And around it came.
This is for him, Yellen.
This is for Yuki and him. Okay. Good job. So we didn't have singing today, but we had that.
You know what? Your kids might be worship. You don't know.
I never have possible.
This one for sure. Yuki's more of a probably like, I like the drums. They're taller than I am, and no one will see me.
Carry her
And
around.
she's like, she goes, I will sing, I will play. I don't want to be seen.
The Baba do this so we can go.
Pretty, I want you to be seen.
There's one more song.
Oh, is this for him? No?
It's about room once, but it's about Santa. Room one has a Santa a little bit, but it's a little bit short.
Okay.
It's a short one.
She's an intro. Oops, we're waiting.
You can choose.
The bells are children singing, and the bells are ringing, and Santa's coming to bring presents. I don't know.
Can we sing the give thanks one?
Give thanks again.
Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ His Son. Let the weak say I am strong. With the poor say I am rich because of what the Lord has done. Us.
Good job. Good job.
Oh, I feel good. Jonathan, what more did you want? She gave you worship.
100%. I have no complaints.
He can be working.
Good job. Actually, I'm gonna start. We're gonna start so we can. You want me to bring communion to you guys? go to our seats. The body of Christ broken for you. I'll bring the, actually, I'll bring the juice after. I'll bring juice after. I'll be the dipping can be done, so we'll go from this side. Body of Christ, for you. Christ shed for you.
Small piece of bread at the end.
Let's see.
I don't know the quality. Smaller than that, like a teensy bird.
I want this one.
Ah, just do it, stop putting it so deep. Okay, Christ broken for you, blood of Christ shed for you. Christ shed
You're gonna give the people food poisoning. Go throw it in the trash. Never thought I would say that.
So last we left Jesus, we had him feeding the 5,000. He did it with a handful of fish. He did it with a little bit of bread. And the story itself finished when we realized, or Jesus realized, that they're trying to make him king by force. So he went into isolation. Jesus' purpose was not to become king. That was not the reason he came. So, that's not the kind of king that he wanted to be either. He was going to be a different kind of king. So he needed to leave as soon as the discussion began. The first week we asked, who are you following? That was the original question, the main thing we're trying to focus on. Last week we added to it, why are you following whatever or whoever you're following? So today it'll be more about the how. How does it look like when you follow Jesus? What is it actually that the behavior, the actions, the words, how are you supposed to look? And this question is not going to be answered just by today, but it begins and the conversation starts. If you go to chapter 6 of John, you'll see what happens in a person's life. But the interesting thing is that I want us to pay attention to the awareness of where a person is at different points in their lives. Not every Christian is at the same point of the same journey. The idea here is that we're going to get an expansion of exactly what to do in certain situations and certain scenarios, and depending on the person, depending on where they're at, and of course for ourselves and where we're at and what we're supposed to do. Now, in between this story and today's verse, we have the story of Jesus walking on water. And this is a unique way, I explained this last week in Sunday school, that the author of John does it differently than the other people, the other Gospels do. Now, the author says that they teleport, they transport, they're suddenly on the other side. And either way, whatever happened, and however they got there, they're on the other side of the lake, and they find Jesus there, where Jesus had run off by himself. They follow him around, and they get to him, and they're doing their best to figure out what's going on, and they ask him a very basic question. And for the sake of brevity, I'm just going to read the verse that I'm going to be talking from. So let me read verse 25 to 26. When they found him on the other side of the sea, they said to him, Rabbi, when did you come here? Jesus answered them, very truly I tell you, you are looking for me not because you saw signs, but because you ate your fill of the loaves. The statement that we read here is full of accusation by Jesus. I've mentioned this before. Jesus will say things and do things that don't fit. They don't make sense. And the assumption is, consistently, that he knows above and beyond what's going on. So he knows the question that they're asking. He knows what they're actually trying to get at. He's not going to play the game that's being done. He is going at the exact question that they're asking, even though verbally they said something different. So what they're actually asking, Jesus, why did you leave? Why did you get away? We were trying to make a king. What happened? And his answer fits that question. I left because you ate your fill, not because you saw signs. So let's talk about the distinction. We've spoken about it before. I've mentioned it multiple times. And hopefully I'm clear. In no way am I trying to downplay one side over the other, but the distinction Jesus is trying to make is that there's a difference between physical feeding and a spiritual feeding. We talked about this a few sermons ago, so let me bring up that reminder. Many Christians believe there's a physical side and a spiritual side, which, for all intents and purposes, we talked about it during our Sunday school a few weeks ago. It could be. It could very well be. I'm not one to downplay that at all, or especially when someone else believes that. We can even add other pieces to this as well, an emotional side as well that could be discussed, which we will bring up in a few sermons. We'll talk about that as well. Regardless, Jesus is making a distinction. He's dividing this idea that on one hand, you have these people that are eating their fill, eating them from the 5,000 and really caring about the fact that Jesus just fed a bunch of people that way. And on the other hand, you have people that are acting as if they've seen the signs, whatever that means. So let's talk about that. What does it mean to see the signs? And this is kind of that spiritual side of this argument. We mentioned this at the beginning when Jesus turned water into wine. Jesus doesn't do miracles in the book of John. He does signs. It's very specifically, that's the word that gets used. These signs have a specific purpose. They point to the fact that Jesus is the Messiah. He is the Yahweh of the Old Testament that's come in human form in the New Testament. So when Jesus turned water into wine in John 2, he wasn't just showing off his skill. He definitely wasn't trying to say that he had this love for receptions and doing these kinds of parties. None of that had to do with anything. He was reminding those who had heard about him, that Jesus as the Messiah reverses shame. When Jesus healed the sick boy at the end of John 4, he wasn't doing it because the boy's father begged appropriately or because the boy's father deserved it because he was a royal official. He did it because the Messiah, he proved to everyone, he showed everyone, the Messiah recognizes belief and faith. When Jesus healed the paralyzed man, this one's an interesting one. 38 years he'd been sick, beginning in John 5. He didn't do it because the man proved his need for healing. And it's not like he deserved the healing more than anyone else at the pool that day. Jesus healed that man because, contrary to what we thought, what we read, the Messiah also recognizes when there doesn't seem to be enough belief. However, he also showed that he is greater than the Sabbath. And this story specifically targeted the Sabbath and what you should do, and that the Sabbath was created for rest and not excessive rules. So now with the story, when Jesus feeds the 5,000, he didn't do it to prove to the people he deserved to be king. He didn't do it because he deserved to be on top of the throne of Israel and bring them back to their glory. He did it to make a distinction that some people will follow Jesus because they get what they want instead of what they actually need. He did it to show the people that the Messiah has the words of eternal life. Remember, the feeding of the 5,000 originally was a test for Philip. It wasn't even a test for the 12. It's very interesting the way it describes it in John 6:6. Let me read it real quick for you. He said this to test him. The word there is specifically singular towards Philip, who just responded. The actual language of the words used in this verse is targeting Philip. I know many of us may think it's a test for the 12, and it could have still been. I'm not pushing against that. I'm not saying it's impossible. That's how it is. I'm just trying to read this in a way that we can kind of understand it. But it seems like it's specifically targeting Philip. So for a moment, let's expand that a second and go further. What if Jesus wasn't testing just Philip? What if Jesus wasn't testing the 12? He was testing everyone. All of you people following me, do you actually have an idea of who I am? We see that from the rest of the chapter. And we saw it from before. Even before, the argument was Jesus arguing with the religious leaders that Jesus is God. So what if he's doing the same thing here? He's now testing the 5,000. All the people following. And we made the point the past 2 weeks. They had been following him for miles, kilometers. They had been going probably since Jerusalem, since he did all those things. They're following all the way. What if he's testing every single one of those people that, let's see what you're going to do when I do this magic trick? And it's a big deal, but it shouldn't be as big of a deal as the fact that I give you the words of life. That means he's testing every single person, even us, even now. That's a test for us in our understanding. Are we the type of Christian that are just following Jesus because we're eating of the loaves? Jesus is making a point that your individual needs were met and that they're going to be taken care of, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's more to the story of following Jesus. And we talked about this last week. I made the point that when you dig into the Bible,
you're going to notice, before you dig into the Bible, there might be shallow reasons that we come, right? Maybe we are coming because we've had our fill of the loaves. But when you dig into the Bible, you'll notice that eventually you get to a point that, yeah, believing in God does provide a way to, maybe not directly, but eventually it does provide a way to avoid hunger. It's just that the alternative is a much better way to live. And we need to live as people that have seen the signs. So what does that mean? Let's use that. Let's build that in now. Let's keep reading in the halfway through the Bible. We'll describe that to us. Chapter 6, verse 27. Do not work for the food that perishes, but for the food that endures for eternal life, which the Son of Man will give you. For it is on him that God the Father has set a seal. This is why we need to remind ourselves about that physical-spiritual dichotomy, the separation between the two, and how it can get separated, but in fact, what we should see, we talked about this a little bit 2 weeks ago in Sunday school, that instead of them being separate and untouchable, they should be kind of merged together. Someone will read this verse and say, see, Jesus tells us to go over after only which endures eternal life. But Jesus is not saying, okay, for eternal life, you need to stop eating food, you need to stop exercising, you need to stop taking care of your body, you need to stop doing all the physical things that you do in life. We cannot be spiritual beings if we don't actually first take care of our physical body. It doesn't work. We need to recognize our spirituality suffers when our physical body suffers. Jesus is not telling us to stop caring for the physical. He's saying, don't prioritize the physical over the spiritual. It means when I don't get my way physically, as a Christian, I have hope in something deeper and greater so that I'm not going to be as impacted as someone else would be. It means when I don't get my way physically, as a Christian, my hope is in something deeper and greater so I can sacrifice a bit more than other people for the benefit of others. To include the idea from before, it means my own desires are secondary to the desires of God. And God desires to care for those who cannot care for themselves. So it means I don't need to hoard and be selfish and greedy because I recognize that there's more to life than being rich, bold, vast, cool. You can fill in the blank with whatever else you want. It certainly does not mean we ignore our physical needs for our spiritual needs. We need to care for each other physically and spiritually to be the best Christian possible, meeting the desires of God. It's on this type of person that God's going to put his seal. I love the words of seal. You find it, ironically, in the book of John. John, the author, uses this most often. You'll see it again in Revelation. He writes the same thing in Revelation about those people that are about to be punished. And it says that those people that will be punished are those without the seal of God. So, of course, the contradiction there in Revelation is the opposite of the seal of God is the seal of the beast. We have the number, and so that gets that gets discussed a lot. We often overlook the seal of God. Yes, the opposite, 666, is on the forehead, on the hand of the people that don't follow God. But the seal of God is on the forehead of those who obey him. And so that's the seal that we see here on Jesus in John 6:27. And then Jesus answers their follow-up question very intriguingly. Let's go to that one, and then we'll finish up. John 6:28-29 says, Then they said to him, What must we do to perform the works of God? Jesus answered, This is the work of God, that you believe in him whom he has sent. So how do you do the works of God? Believe. And so we said this multiple times. Believe in Jesus, the Messiah, the Son of God, the Son of Man. Okay, what does belief in Jesus actually look like? Well, everything we've just discussed up until this point. We read the whole Old Testament, right? Take care of those that cannot take care of themselves. Meet God's desires. Obviously, this can be discussed in multiple ways because I often bring it up and I constantly am making that point. But I believe the best way to know God's desires is to see the type of community he was trying to set up in the Old Testament. The Best Testament teaches us that God viewed us, told us what it means to be righteous and unrighteous. I'm not going to read every single one of these verses. I'm just going to give you a quick ChatGPT summary of each one. 1 Samuel 15:22, obedience over sacrifice. Psalm 40, 6-8, the delight in doing God's will. Isaiah 1:11-15, empty rituals will be rejected by God. Jeremiah 6:20, sacrifice is nothing without obedience. Hosea 6:6, God prefers mercy over sacrifice. Amos 5, 21 to 24. Justice is more important than worship. And then Micah 6, 6 through 8. God prefers justice, mercy, and humility as the key characteristics of a follower of God. We have a bit of a dilemma here, because all these things that are being told, the mercy, sacrifice, all that stuff God said to do. But then the sacrifices, the offerings, the solemn assemblies, the worship, the things that we're supposed to do, isn't that part of God's instructions to us? That's the idea. We're obeying God by doing those things. Well, that's where we get a yes and no. There could be two categories here. In psychology, in my schooling, the joke was whenever we asked a question, the answer was always, it depends. And that's how this is here. It depends. All these things, the first category we need to consider is all these things that we believe that will make God